What up, everybody? I'm Jess. That's Broke Boy Bray.
What up?
And this is the first episode of Four Ropes Full Podcast. So, we're just going to go ahead and get started with everything right now. We're going to talk about opponents we want to see CM Punk face next. Now, I think we need to see CM Punk go one on one with Seth Rollins. I just think they need to run that fade.
I mean, of course, that's obviously the one they building up to with all this, everything that's been going on. This is all culminating to that big Mania match. It's gonna be CM Punk's first time headlining the Mania. They're gonna probably get the headline like night one if everybody's fully healed and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was something one on my list too. I mean,
like, they just have to run that.
That's
fade.
genuine beef right there. That's not even just kayfabe. That's genuine beef.
That SummerSlam reaction was crazy, like crazy.
Yeah. No, they definitely got to run that ASAP.
So now I'm thinking like after he go against Seth Rollins, like does he go after Gunther or do we like not push that yet? Like we should wait until see if Drew or Seth gonna cost him that bitch just so they can build to Mania.
I mean, you never really know in a situation like that type shit. But I mean, Gunther was on the list. I personally think, what they should do with Punk right now is Seth is injured. We need to start having him just wrestle weekly basis. So one person I got on my list that I think will be a really interesting match is Ilya Dragunov versus CM Punk.
That's interesting.
I don't know. I was thinking about it earlier today, and I'm like, man, I feel like those two can put on a fucking banger together.
Like I see it, but it's like, do you put over like Punk, who the veteran, or like do you push the like young?
You got to put over Ilya in that type of situation because Punk, he's at the age where he don't need titles. He don't need all that to prove what he is, to show what he is. He can very much, that can always be in the books for him to win a title. But I think what he should really focus on is, trying to put over the younger talent, like how he's kind of doing with Roxanne Perez. Because I ain't gonna hold you, I really didn't check out Roxanne Perez until Punk really started kind of floating around her, and then I realized I was like, okay, I see what he sees in her now.
Nah, I see that. I can see that being the case. Only reason why I say that is because I think that when you put that situation at the standpoint that it is right now, it's like everybody kind of like wishing that he gets that reign though.
Facts, but it's like, what title do you give him? Do you give him world heavyweight, or do you give him the WWE championship?
I don't think we need to give him the WWE one yet. I don't think he needs to be the company guy yet. But he needs a title that says I'm the second best in this shit at my age. Like I should not be this old, fucking up the game and sales and merch on the mic a little bit in the ring right now because I'm still old as hell.
Right. But here's my thing. It's like, when do we give him that title run? Because you got to think about it. Gunther is about to start a devilish run with the world heavyweight title. And that first match we got to see at Bash in Berlin was just a taste of what we're going to start seeing from Gunther. Because that's the thing. Gunther already proved himself. And now that he's a world champion, I feel like he's going to fight a lot harder for that title than he ever did for the Intercontinental Championship.
True. But at the same time, we thought he was fighting for his life every time he got in the goddamn ring. And we've seen that he's lost to Ilya. No, was it Ilya that he beat that beat him? No, it was Braun Breaker that beat him, I think. But him and Ilya had some good ass matches in NXT for the main title.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then they had a decent little matches on the normal NXT 2.0 brand, or like whatever the fuck they calling it now. Is it?
I think it's technically considered 3.0, but it's just branded at NXT.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going on down there. I just know Shawn Michaels cooking with the booking.
And I give him that. He definitely cooking.
He down there cooking. That man has put it on straight, banging matches, and kind of showing up the main roster at points.
I mean, hell, now it seems like hell, like he pushing fresher storylines.
He's pushing things that people can get enveloped in. Like the Joe Hendry stuff right now with the TNA collab, like that is crazy, and I still want to see Worlds Collide happen this year. Like I feel like that'll be such a fire pay per view to do.
That'd be interesting.
I feel like that'll just be so fire.
But who represents like TNA's like main brand that like wants to go over to WWE? Because like it seemed like Moose declined it. Like he was talking like he declined the offer to go into WWE if he wasn't gonna face the top stars.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think like that's crazy. Like you'll risk like your company's reputation just because you can't go fight Roman Reigns right now.
And that's the crazy part because Joe Hendry is getting. He was already big and he was already huge in TNA, but the fact that now he's got an even bigger stage to show his name, like he's been what WWE for like what 2 months now at this point, and he has those arenas singing his song. It's kind of stuck in my head at points. I just gotta be thinking about it.
Like I low key like I be clapping low key. I just like that clap. Like
it's catchy.
It is.
It's catchy.
And it's like he knew what he was doing because like the way like everything actually went to like be, like he was just like, you know what? I'm gonna be a little bit more different than everybody else. I'm gonna make my own stuff. I'm gonna make a joke out of myself. But y'all gonna fuck around and love it.
Shit, it works for LA Knight.
That it should have always been that way for TNA too, but that's a whole different story.
We have to deal on that on a different episode.
That's a whole different story about LA Knight. We ain't even gonna get into that right now. But we're gonna start off with something else now. We're gonna talk about this week in wrestling.
Ooh.
Pay-per-view or shows. So actually, you know what? I think we should talk about the pay-per-view first.
What, Bash of Berlin?
Yeah. I want to talk about how you felt about the entire pay-per-view as a whole.
Man, like we was kind of talking about a bit earlier, I feel like Triple H, he's doing a good job booking the shows, but he's not encapsulating the same storylines and investment that I see from the TNA people. And even then, I'm not saying like, the matches are less quality, but I feel like I'm getting more entertainment out of these NXT matches right now compared to the main roster. And, Gunther versus Randy Orton, that was a pretty good match.
It was.
Drew versus Punk, that was pretty good. I didn't like the stipulation in that one.
I give you that. I wouldn't.
That was the dumbest thing ever, but we don't got to go into that right now. What else was on that card?
Jade and Bianca versus
yeah, them winning the title. That was actually really good though.
That was
Jade.
good.
See, they need to use Jade and Bianca a lot more because I feel like they are cold, but they're all. I know they're also trying to build up to them beefing.
Yeah.
At the same time, so it's like only so much you can try to do.
Yeah, just like I want to see them with the titles, but at the same time, I know that like if we don't get a singles belt on them, they're gonna get pushed back in that situation where they like mid card too early.
Mm-hmm.
So like if that like title like say like we was talking about earlier about the like WWE giving the women's mid card title, like if they make it an Intercontinental Women's Championship, they should not be there yet. They need one quick run with this title. I don't care if you give it to Jade too early. I don't care if you give it to Bianca too early. If it's gonna lead up to something to where they ass gonna collide, if it's gonna be about who the most dominant one, have one of them drop it at the pay-per-view right before WrestleMania.
Which would be what, like Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
And that'll be a good chamber match right there. 6-woman chamber match for the Intercontinental Championship, and have one of them cost them the other title.
Like the night that the championship was crowned, you don't get a chance to touch it. So now I gotta beat your ass at every point until either you say yes to this match, or I beat your ass to the point where you quit now. Because there can only be one in their eyes. It can only be one dominant one.
That's true. At the end of the day, there can only be one dominant woman in the champion, and that's being a champion. That's all that comes down to.
Like it's cool, like if it's tag team and stuff like that, but at the same time, you got two women who can take over an entire arena with how they are, with their aura. Like when Jade Cargill came at the Royal Rumble. That pop was insane.
And that was the thing. I had been following Jade like since I got back into wrestling because I got back into wrestling in like 2022, and I was checking out WWE and AEW, and Jade was the one who caught my eye in AEW instantly because at that point she was still undefeated over there, and she was a really talented wrestler, and I was like, she ended up going to WWE. There's some dream matches she can do, so like her versus Bianca, her versus Rhea. Oh God, her versus Rhea is the match I really want. But
That's gonna be interesting.
we don't gotta divulge into that. We don't gotta divulge into
We're
that.
gonna talk about that in the next one too. Like those female dream matches right now are looking pretty
The women low key
interesting.
kind of cooking harder than the men.
I'm just saying, like if Becky Lynch come back, her versus Jade Cargill, the Man versus the Storm,
That'd be fire.
that's a pay per view. That's a pay per view poster right there.
I don't get why they haven't done like an evolution too, like the women's evolution they had back in like right before the pandemic,
Oh
where it
yeah,
was like that all women's pay per view. I don't get why they haven't ran one of those back because I'm like, y'all have so many talented NXT and main roster females.
I don't think they think it's profitable though.
They tweaking because that's the thing. I don't think they realize how profitable the women are. I see the other day one of my wrestling pages on Twitter was like the top most three draws in the company right now are it was Rhea Ripley, Roman Reigns, and Liv Morgan. So two of the three are women.
I mean, it's a Rhea Ripley shit with motherfuckers calling them mommy. Like
I
that's going crazy. Her messing with Jay Uso, Jay Uso being one of the mid card people that needs to win something.
get why Rikishi mad.
I give him that.
I get why Rikishi mad because they haven't done nothing with Jay,
Yeah, nah, they could have did so much more with this main event. Jay Uso's like he could have been.
and he still got the motion, so it's like they still could do it.
It's just like, do you take the title off of Braun too early? And if so, what's the end game for Braun? Does he immediately go battle Gunther for the world title?
We need to. We
Does
need.
he go away for a little bit?
We see. Here's the thing with Braun. Braun is such a big aggressor in the company that I feel like the type of match we need from him, like the type of matches we need from him, and when we see him go after the world championship, it's gonna have to be like a feud. He needs to get into a really good feud with somebody. But here's the thing: he's just wrecking everybody because he's just a genetic freak like his dad.
It's just like some of the shit that he do is like insane. And
Bro, when he be bouncing off those ropes and hit you with that spear, I be like, I feel like he legit is kind of like ripping them in half.
like, bro, it's like even like then, like, bro, like just
A genetic freak like his father, Rick Steiner.
like he should not just be running that fast. Like he should not be hitting them
Bro, when he was
corners.
beefing with Ilya early this year on the main roster, when he would just be running from security, you will just see him literally go from the front of the ring to the other side and just take bro out. I'll be like, there's no way you're that fast.
Like there's no way. Like even when he did like the Pat McAfee interview and he was like running across the gym floor, like that's still insanely scary that
Him,
he didn't even like it didn't take him a second to get into that mode to where he can just go straight into it and get ready to spear a motherfucker, and it always looks clean. I mean, except for the one he did with Ludwig Kaiser, like except for that one was a little.
I mean, you never gonna always get a perfect spear, but I feel like he has perfected it. He always nails it to where you're gonna feel it. Like watching it, being there in person, you're gonna feel that. And like I always like, Roman's a good spearer, Edge is a good spearer, but it's like some about Braun Breaker's spear is just like
It looked like it hurt.
it looked like it hurt like everybody else's spear, like, it obviously looked like it hurt, like you getting tackled, but like it literally looked like he's like trying to like put his entire body into yours.
And that's just crazy because it's like you never know how crazy shit gets in them type of matches that he's in until like you there. And I just feel like when you there, like you supposed to hate him. Like he's been like he comes across as the most arrogant dickhead of all time.
Oh, he is 100%, 100,000% a heel, but it's like you can't hate him because he's so raw.
Like bro, like when he did this little promo walking out and he said, I'm a badass and I'm gonna go do what badasses do. And he said, Pat McAfee, dude, we got some dogs out there tonight. the entire crowd started barking for this nigga.
He a dog.
You supposed to be the bad guy, and you got the mother. They should be booing you, but they are
And see,
barking.
that's like the funny part of our wrestling that we really got to divulge. And honestly, we should probably do it in the next episode. Just how crazy it is that like how the heels have changed from like the late '90s and early 2000s compared to now. Because heels used to get booed at the fucking arena. Now they're getting cheered more than the faces do.
It's just like I get like like they didn't like try to push the Miz and shit like that and like make him a baby face and then like that don't work so he turned into a bad guy. But since they kept him as a face, I see way more Miz than I do as a heel, and I just find that crazy
Mm-hmm.
because remember after he lost the WWE title to John Cena, right?
I think it was Cena. I forgot who. The first time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember who he lost it to, but
I
I know
think it
what
was
you mean.
Cena. But like as soon as he did that, like he went away immediately. Like he wasn't even looked at like a guy who was just WWE champion. It was just like, oh, okay, he held the belt for Cena and Rock, so now we can push that shit to the moon, and then push CM Punk a little bit somewhere into that shit, and then cut him off so we can still focus on Cena and Rock to
Mm-hmm.
show how good the motherfuckers are against other opponents, but put them against each other. What the fuck can they do? I get that, but it's like nothing else was done with that situation.
Not at all.
So like, what do we do now?
And that's what the issue with the Vince McMahon booking was, is that he had no long term plans for people. The one long term plan we did see was Roman Reigns. That was the only one, but even then we can only give him so much credit because Triple H at one point took over mid reign.
True, true, true.
But
But I mean,
he,
I mean, we can find a few other ones. Now, I ain't gonna say Vince didn't have any long term for a few people. John Cena, he had a decent little thing. Undertaker, he had a nice little thing. Kane was on and off, but he did some. He did
no,
some
I'm talking about
shit.
like long term booking. I'm talking about like a long term feud that just,
Oh,
an actual like story. Like the last one I could probably think of would be like Evolution. Like a long term story that spans over years.
I mean, Undertaker. I mean, you can think if you think about it. I mean, Undertaker and Shawn Michaels was they went
Yeah,
against
shit, but
each
that was
other.
only like 2 years. No, that was only a year technically.
Nah, I mean, shit. You got to think about it in the WWF days too, though. Like he went against the Undertaker a few times. Then you move over to the Attitude Era, the first ever Hell in a Cell match, Bad Blood, 1998, I think it was. Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Kane debuts. That starts something. So it's like they always had a little storyline, but Shawn Michaels always duck off somewhere else.
That is true.
2006 Royal Rumble, I think they was the final two. They started off at like the earliest fucking numbers. They start beating the hell out of motherfuckers and end up going all the way to the end where Undertaker throws Shawn Michaels off the top rope, costing him WrestleMania. Like they've always had a little history, and then you go back to it. Shawn Michaels couldn't get it done, and he was waiting to get that one moment against him to be like, you know what?
Just aren't how they should be. Because like the last really good match I can think bro would have had would have been last year against Kenny Omega in the steel cage match they had on Dynamite, and this was like in May. That was a good ass match. It was a really fire ass match, and they fucked it up with the ending, but it was a fire ass match. But that was the last time I felt like he's had a really solid match, and that was a year and a half ago.
That's true. I could see that. I could see that being the case. But even then, we're trying to push all of this shit going down right now. It's like, how do you reward the guys who've been waiting to get their moment or waiting to get their moment back at the top? It's just sitting to the side waiting to see whoever comes out of this. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna try to
Another
push them
huge
down.
issue with AEW is Jericho. I'm
I
sick of
mean,
Jericho.
I'm Bray John. I'm not gonna lie to you. I swear to God. I am so happy that somebody else agrees with me on this because I was thinking to myself all day today, thinking about AEW and what could be done in this get rid of Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho is holding people back.
Tell him to retire. Get this farewell tour on the fucking road. If we gonna give him another world title reign, let him beat Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan go rides off into the dust with his wife for real, because he lived his fantasy of winning the world title. He got a chance to let his kids actually see him with the world title and shit like that and have them remember it. That's cool. Get it over with. Let this motherfucker go. We do not need this learning tree. Then it's the pinnacle, and then it's the Jericho Appreciation Society. Nobody needs this shit no more. He had his good run in the '90s with WCW. He came through in the Attitude Era and fucked some shit up with the long hair, doing the backflips, technical wrestling, the Lion Tamer. I get it. Let this shit go after this year. We do not need it no more.
Facts. 100% facts.
There's no point why I'm seeing Chris Jericho at All In 2025. There's no reason he has time on there. Respectfully, he's a legend, Hall of Fame dude.
It's time to hang it up.
Give it up.
It's time to hang it up.
And that's no disrespect to him.
I love Chris Jericho.
All love.
But I'm sick of him being in matches that can be used to elevate people like Orange Cassidy. Like, I was kind of pissed off that he had that match when they were here in town. And it was a four-way match. And I'm like, why the fuck do we have Orange Cassidy in a four-way match when my man should be in singles matches? Because he's one of the biggest fucking draws in this company. Yeah, Tony Khan be on some bullshit down there, bro.
Let's see. We can get into one more thing. I want to see exactly how you feel about the way that the arenas are set up for pay-per-views right now. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I love WWE, I love the product right now, I love the wrestling. But I need more convincing sets. Like, I'm not saying go back to how Raw used to look back then.
So here's what I've learned. The reason why we are getting these shitty sets are due to there being so much more demand than it was back in the day. You know, because they used to be able to use like half, like a 90% of the arena have like, you know, a bunch of seats where they can set up this big fabulous stage and shit, right? But it happened at SummerSlam last year when they were booking the SummerSlam shit last year and everything. They the demand got so high that they had to change the way the entrance shit looked because so many more people wanted to attend and they had to open up those seats. So that's what it is that WWE is back to being so damn popping that shit, they might have to start doing stadiums for some of these shows, bro. Cause like the demand is just so high now. There's so many talents that people want to see in the company that like I wanted to go to fucking Survivor Series last year because I knew Punk was coming back. But those tickets, man, they were ridiculous. And like the cheapest ones, it was like the nosebleeds of a nosebleed. You see an ants wrestling.
And that's where we gonna get into 5 minutes of wrestling rants right there. Let's go ahead and get into it. Just because I really want to talk about something that's been making me mad.
Go ahead. Talk your shit.
So we've been seeing this stuff on SmackDown lately. And I don't know if it pisses y'all off, but it pisses me off. Jacob Fatu. And before y'all get to, oh, I hate Jacob Fatu, that's not the case at all. Love him. I think he's pound for pound one of the best. But I'm tired of him just yelling and shit like that. He knows how to cut a promo. He knows how
that
to
promo
do
he
this.
cut when he was before he got signed to the company, when he was like, fuck Godzilla, I'm Godzilla. I was like, yeah, he's a demon. Bro. And the fact they got these niggas scream, you're right, bro. That shit's annoying as fuck. Why do we got these niggas screaming? We could be building them as not only just compelling bloodline members, but compelling wrestlers. Because this bloodline shit ain't finna last forever. So what we gonna do once the bloodline shit end? They still gonna be going around yelling, yeah, and all that shit. No, bro.
It's just like when Tama came out, when he walked up to Paul Heyman menacingly and said, in orders of the tribal chief, and Solo walked by as he was walking off, the way that Paul Heyman had fear in his eyes, that is what is the money right there. Because you can instantly go, Tama Tonga got this menacing aura, so every time he walk up on somebody want to challenge him, he'll talk about what he gonna do to them. How they not ready to fight him. How you'll never be physical than him. You'll never take it to the levels he's ready to take it to because he is the badass of the situation. If you pull that off with the way that they talking, you got a powerhouse right there. Jacob Fatu, after he lead the bloodline, street dude. Street dude.
Straight man is putting him on some like Braun Breaker shit. He just want to fuck shit up to be fucking shit up.
Like, he needs to be like, bro, he cut a promo I seen on TikTok, bro, and he said, dog, I got hands, and I beat your bitch ass.
That's what I'm saying. Like Triple H is kind of like bullshit with like, and that's why people don't take the new Bloodline serious because it's like we've seen these guys work outside this company. You can't try to do this bullshit like we don't know what to expect from these guys. We know what to know from these guys. Like I'm very disappointed with like Jacob Fatu performance wise, he's killing it. Mic wise, has he even picked up a damn mic?
I don't think so. The nigga legit has been yelling like.
That's all he do is yell. The only thing I see talking is Solo. And Solo sucks on the mic. Oh my fucking god, Solo sucks on the mic. That can't just be me, right, gang?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie to you. He not convincing enough to be the tribal chief.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why nobody take him serious. So what, y'all beat the shit out of Paul Heyman? Oh. Anybody gonna do that shit, nigga?
Raja, I'm gonna go to the WWE page because I want you to see something I seen on SmackDown. Because did you watch it?
I don't watch the weekly shit. I kind of just keep up with what they post on Twitter and shit.
I'm finna show you exactly what the fuck I just seen, and respectfully, it pisses me off.
Oh, this? Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. I saw that. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just do this real quick then. I want to ask you, who looks more convincing out of these dudes with the Intercontinental Championship? Because that's what I want to talk about. Have you seen this on the WWE Instagram page?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so watch all of these guys.
I mean, Sean always gonna look clean with the title. That's a given.
I'm just thinking because like Shawn Michaels, was like he was like one of the staples of putting that belt on top.
Facts.
So it's just like I think that's interesting to me to see like how that plays out.
Bad News Barry wasn't a terrible champ.
He wasn't, and that's like something that like
that it's not talked about enough. He was actually a really solid Intercontinental Champion. I don't feel like it's discussed enough though. He was solid as hell though.
Like that Bad News Barry shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. He would have kept that going for like another year. I could have seen y'all giving him the WWE Championship.
Well, at one point I heard that was the plan, was to make him WWE champ, but then some shit happened. I forgot what.
Super Cena. That's what.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it. Yeah, Super Cena kicked in.
And it's just like, man, that's just crazy.
Very underrated Intercontinental Champion. He kind of did vitalize it in the 2010s. Him and Ziggler. Those were the only two really keeping that motherfucker afloat.
Kofi was in there a little bit, but I'm
I'm talking about putting on bangers with that hoe while being Intercontinental Champion.
Kofi had one or two, in my opinion, but no, I agree with you. Dolph and the Miz.
Him and Dolph was on some different shit with that title around their waist.
But shout out to Cody Rhodes for bringing that version back.
Facts.
For him having his whole aura, old school type of shit.
Bringing that back, that was raw. That was raw. When you brought the white strap, I was like, yeah, that whole clean. It looks prestigious.
I feel like he low-key bought a good amount of wrestling fans back just because of this.
Mm-hmm.
Because they was like, oh, the old belt back? That means something going on.
Because I get, as I get older, I get why people hated the spinner belt. Because it's like you go from this prestigious looking title, this thing that looks like, something worth holding, to a fucking spinner belt. So like that's how I felt about going from the spinner to the current title. The current title is like a fucking toy.
True.
And that's what, and I get that they catering towards the kids and shit, but it don't look prestigious.
True. But wait, we talking about going from the undisputed to the spinner belt? Or we talking about going from the spinner belt to the current design?
We talk about spinner to current design.
I don't know. I feel like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed WWE and I enjoyed the way that it is being brought up now, but that title versus the spinner belt does not look as convincing on certain people.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the only person I've low-key seen that new title look good on is Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns. It looked like a fucking toy on Brock.
True. But here's the thing. You can say the same thing about the spinner belt. It did not look...
Oh, I know that.
I'm sorry. You cannot say that if Shawn Michaels would have had that belt would have fit him.
Hell no, that belt would have looked hideous.
That belt would not look good on the Undertaker at all.
That belt only looked good on like low-key 5 wrestlers, and that was Randy Orton, Cena, Hardy, Triple H. And I was gonna say,
and CM Punk, you can add.
Triple H was kind of hit or miss. Punk definitely, for sure, that title fit him. Who else looked really good with the WWE Championship? Because not a lot of people did.
Sheamus would have looked alright with
it. He had it for a little bit. It didn't work for me.
I low-key think Kofi Kingston would have killed it though.
Oh, it would have looked nice on Kofi.
That shit would have looked tough on Kofi.
It would have looked nice.
I put it on. I put
the Edge.
Championship
Edge.
On
That's the one we weren't thinking of. Edge with the spinner.
Yeah, but it also kind of throws it away too, because he didn't want the spinner belt at the same time, and it's like knowing that he didn't want it, and WWE still made the nigga put it on and just put rated R on it.
I'm just talking about when he had the regular one, not the rated R one. The rated R one was fucking horrible.
True. Which is weird because like those bitches usually always sell out on the WWE website.
Because nostalgia, you got to think about it. We're the generation. We're like the Attitude Era hating on the PG era. I mean the Ruthless Aggression era. That's how we're viewing it now. We're the older generation looking at the new generation, being like, this don't hit the same. But you also have to accept at the same time that it's for a different audience. And that's what's wrong with media in general, but I'm not going to delve into that shit. I'll go on a whole fucking rant.
Hell, we already on 5 minutes show. I think we passed it, but hell, it's all good because now we're going to switch over to, what you call this, the main event question. We set up 10 our personal favorite WWE entrances of all time.
Is it WWE or just wrestling in general?
Just wrestling in general.
Okay.
But mine's is mainly going to be from WWE.
Now, I mean, the majority of mine are.
So, let's go ahead and get into it and get into.
So,
top 10 wrestling theme songs of all time. Any era, back and forth.
All right. I ain't got no particular order, so I'm gonna just like throw out random ones. Burning My Light, Randy Orton's first theme song in WWE.
I could give you that.
That hoe was tough. Yeah, you can't even hold me. That hoe was tough.
I can understand.
Yeah, you can't even hold me. That hoe was tough. Especially when they did the little mix with Edge shit, Metalingus. Come on, gang. You gotta admit that shit was hard.
I'm gonna get into that. But I'm gonna give my number 10. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people don't say this one that he been rocking with for so long is better, but I don't care. Number 10 is John Cena, Dr. Thugonomics. That So You Think You're Untouchable, as soon as that plays, it's a different feel.
I had that in my honorable mentions as one. That hoe is tough. I ain't gonna hold you.
There's no way that goes not in WWE's greatest theme songs, in my personal opinion.
No,
Because y'all
that's
got so much rap. Y'all like brought so much hip hop popularity into there, having John Cena have this like
that theme. Like I said, it made my honorable mentions for a reason. It's not my personal top 10, but I gotta admit that whole bumps. Like I was thinking about that yesterday. Like I was crafting the list. I was like, yeah, that definitely is a certified classic wrestling theme right there. Definitely is. All right. So my number 9. If I have to give 9 to anybody, I got to give it to Swerve's theme in AEW currently. That that bitch got a nice little bob to it. No, sir, I'm straight.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. All right. So I'm gonna go back to WWE again because this is my favorite wrestler all time. So I mean, it hurt putting him this low.
How you not finna put him? Who I think you finna put here?
I'm putting Jeff Hardy, his solo theme song. And I know what y'all thinking, that I'm crazy right now.
As fuck.
And that I'm hiding in a motherfucker, which I could be.
No.
But look, y'all gotta cut me some slack here. It's so many other ones that are so nostalgic that you low key gonna have to understand. You just gonna have to. Because I get it, I'm in a current era. Like, I was born in a certain era of wrestling, but when it comes down to it, what else I'm finna say, you're gonna be like, damn, you is right. That is nostalgia. And don't think that Jeff Hardy doesn't appear again on this list. Just because I did his little solo entrance during the time we had the WWE and World Heavyweight Championship, that's at 9. The Hardy Boys theme song is on my list, so I just wanted to let that be clear.
I can respect it, but damn, that's low. Alright, smooth number 8 for me is gonna have to go to. I'm gonna have to give the Seth Rollins' first theme song once he left the Shield. Not the current shit.
You're talking about the Architect?
Yeah. No. I'm talking world champion Seth Rollins for the first time.
Yeah. Was that not the Architect?
No, that was different. The Architect one was different. The Architect one is more similar to the current one he has.
Oh. So what was he then?
That would have been just like, the like crazy just guitar solo and drums. That shit will never not be one of my favorite theme songs of all time because it just fit him. Hearing that shit when he came down at WrestleMania 31 to cash in was the wildest shit.
But then again, I feel like if that would have played, if that would have been played true, but that Burn It Down probably would have been the most loudest pop.
Oh, it definitely would have been.
Would have yelling "Burn It Down" as he's running down to the ring.
Well, see, that's the thing you don't remember. That came from that song, that Burn It Down shit.
I thought Seth Rollins had like 4 different versions.
No, so he's old. No, so he's had like 2. It was his original theme he had that he used before he got injured, and then he slightly switched it when he did his like Architect shit to kind of more being like a choir, and now we have the version we have now. Because his first theme after the Shield is nothing like his other ones, and that's why I love it so much. This hardcore rock shit right there.
Okay, now it's your number 8, right?
Yeah, number 8.
My number 8. Again, y'all gonna have to cut me some slack. I know y'all gonna feel like some people got cheated, but The Rock's new theme song, the final boss one, mixed in with the visual effects of his entrance and everything, it's the best version of his rock theme songs ever, in my opinion.
I can respect that opinion. I think I liked that second version he had. But I can respect that. The new one is hard. I'm not saying that. Like, don't get it twisted. That new one is hard as hell, especially with that entrance. I get it. I 100% get it. I didn't even think about Rock's entrance, honestly, when crafting this list. All right, number 7. This is a little low, but it's only because the other ones have so much more meaning to me.
See? So just like how mine is.
Are you ready? The DX theme. I hate to put it that low, but looking at the list, I was like, these other ones just they have more of my heart. But the DX theme will always be some shit I could just rock out to. Because it's just that nice fusion of just like kind of hip hop, but still majority rap. I mean, still majority rock. This is a nice little blend. That shit goes though. Especially with the way they did the entrance with like the visual on the screen and shit. Then them coming down to the ring with the pirate. Like everything about it was just so nice.
That was one of my favorite reasons why I enjoyed playing the video game during that time, because it reenacted that situation. Like
2009, they really nailed that entrance with the screen visuals and all that shit. I think that's why I had to put it on the list, because I'm like, that shit will just never not be nostalgic to me.
That's a good ass video game. I mean, Triple H ain't shit, but like they was like, hey, if you gonna do commercials and interviews and shit like that, like y'all can't show me getting beat up. It's like, nigga, you was that much.
That would never be my favorite Triple H fact of all time.
Like, nigga, like you wanted to be that dominant in the ring that you didn't give a fuck like that.
He said, I can't even be seen getting my ass beat in video game form.
Like, y'all can go home and beat my ass. Just don't show it on TV.
Y'all not finna promote that shit though.
You not finna promote.
They said beat the shit out of Cena.
Like don't show that you can beat the shit out of me. Like don't show like I got any more opponents when I'm supposed to be the big dog of this bitch.
Bringing it into niggas' houses.
Like bro, that shit. That's what I think in my personal opinion. And then so that was your 7. So my number 7. I'm sorry. Ray John, do you remember Devon Dudley having his own little solo run?
I would say I know. I did not know bro had his own little solo shit.
So yeah.
So Devon had his own theme.
Yes, bro.
Because I know they had their own solo runs and shit, but I always just kind of assumed that they just used the Dudley Boys theme.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, then again, Jim Johnson used to just be making themes just to be making themes.
And so I'm explaining a little backstory to it. He had this pastor gimmick, and it's just like he legit would come out like a. Oh damn! I think I just skip past.
Hey yo, this is taking money for the fans.
That's all I'm getting to though. Hell, what's your number 6?
Oh, number 6. I told you I didn't number these, so I'm just kind of going eyeballing shit. Number 6. I will probably give it to. I Hear Voices by Randy. A little lower than I want to put it. But it's been his theme for so long, type shit. But it's always going to be iconic.
When he first debuted it, was some shit. And then along with the tattoos and everything,
That theme will never not be amazing.
He looked like a whole new nigga.
That theme will never not be amazing. Nigga was did the ball fade. He was on some demon shit.
That started the Apex Predator shit, and that's just like
on some straight demon shit.
Took the game over. My number 6. A lot of people not gonna like it. I don't care. The Miz's came to play when he first was the bad guy and shit like that, and he had that theme song, not none of this other shit with the cameras and the paparazzi, Hollywood shit. I don't care about that. The original bad guy Miz. This shit was iconic.
I know exactly what theme you're talking about. That shit was good. I think I kind of got burnt out on it because me and Mario used to play SBR11 a lot, and that was one of the songs they used to play. So we used to hear that shit like 24/7. But that it didn't diminish how good the theme was. It's just overplayed to me. But I can respect that. That's a really fire theme song. That's a solid ass theme song. That's tough.
Yep.
Number 5. I'm gonna get that to Metalingus, aka Edge's theme song.
I ain't mad at you.
I've always loved Metalingus. Like that's like a song in my playlist type shit.
I ain't gonna lie to you, G. You might be surprised by me. That's not in my top 10.
Really?
I didn't even think about
it. You know, I can respect that though. I mean, it's not one of those things you think about. Like I said, I've always loved that shit.
It's so good though. And it's crazy because at 5, only because I played SmackDown versus Raw 2011 back to front 100 times, I got Christian's second entrance theme song. All right, now y'all got to give me a second to understand why I'm saying this. When Christian first came back, he was supposed to mean a big deal to me. He was supposed to be the sidekick to Edge that finally got his own limelight. Like he became a star in TNA. Now he gets to come back to WWE and he's supposed to be a star just like Edge. I had high hopes. That's just me.
Christian had a good theme. I'm not gonna hold you. Christian's theme was fire.
Then when he just had a little chest pat when he
that shit was hard. I'm not even gonna hold you, gang. That shit was hard. Anybody sleeping on that is crazy. That was a good ass one. Number 4. We're gonna give number 4 to Fire Burns by CM Punk. CM Punk's first theme in the WWE.
That's mine.
Come on, gang. I'm sorry. That shit low key better than Cult of Personality.
That's mine. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That it's such a good thing. Like I want him to use that for a match with this current run. He has to. That shit is so fire.
True.
That shit is so tough.
Shit, you said 5, so I'm gonna just say 4.
No, that was my number 4.
Oh, that was your number 4.
That was my number 4.
I mean number 3. I've been waiting for this motherfucker to use it, and I thought WrestleMania he was. Drew McIntyre's Broken Dreams. Broken Dreams by Drew McIntyre.
When they teased it at what was that, Clash of the Castle back in 2022, I got pissed off. I ain't gonna hold you. I got pissed. But that's also how I knew he wasn't gonna win that title.
Yeah, they wouldn't have gave him that music just to lose.
Honestly, I didn't have it on the list, but that'll probably be my number 3 as well. That's such a good theme song. The slow build up with the intro, then just that hard hitting guitar and the fucking hook. Oh my god, yeah.
What'd you go for?
That was I'm gonna put that at 3. I got to. I didn't have it on the list, but that shit's tough.
At 2, Triple H. That's why I got him. It's a nostalgia thing for me. But anytime that just that drum beat come on, what can you do but get up and cheer? Whether he just coming out to serenade the crowd.
That damn guitar strum was too hard. That damn guitar strum was way too hard.
Like
that was an honorable mention for me because I couldn't deny how good that thing was. Number 2 for me It's gonna be divisive for some niggas. I'm gonna have to give it to My Time Is Now. As much as I love Cena, I can't put that shit at number one. But it don't get it twisted. I know that song forward to back with the second verse.
I can respect that because my number one is Kane,
Mm.
the original Kane, in like the ruthless aggression era.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
That Kane. I would have gave it to Undertaker because that's nostalgia, but he's an honorable mention. I'm talking about what I fuck with. Kane's that just that fire, and then that just that little maniacal type of shit. Like it's like you walking through like heels have eyes on some shit. Like it's one of them things. So Kane is number one for me personally.
I'm gonna have to give number one to Jeff Hardy. The time is coming.
That's fine. That's fair. I mean, I can't be mad at you for that.
That
I
shit.
Did that, but I had to go off of nostalgia.
I felt that. I was going more off of what's enjoyable. Like I get replay value out of type shit. Like what's some shit like I could just throw on a playlist and it would bump as hard as my other actual fucking songs type shit. That's the way I was kind of rooting this list. Like, you know, this is some type of shit. Like I would make a playlist around these songs and actually listen to them. Like I said, I got like at least like about 5 of the songs out of my top 10 in a playlist that occasionally will just come on. I'd be like, hey.
Yeah. Can't even be mad at that.
I low key, I was kind of debating. I was going to either do that one or you remember his TNA theme when he came back in 2010, Another Me?
Yeah, nah, that's a good one.
I was like, damn, that was definitely like the first audible mention I put. I was like, that shit was way too hard.
Facts. All right, y'all. This was the first episode of Four Ropes Full Podcast. I'm your boy Jess. This is Broke Boy Gray. We'll catch you guys in the next one, y'all.